Good morning. This is Pamela Bluewater for J&S Biblical Productions. Today we are going to take up a question that is in the mind of many of our viewers. Is life unfair? Is it fair? Or does it have to be? We have a self-proclaimed expert here from Harvard University, Professor Edgar G. Muffrut. He has a PhD in just about everything in life sciences. We are also joined by a pastor of the Church of the Holy Divine Revelations, Doctor of Divinity, Gloria Sunshine. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Good to have you here. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to determine if we can say life as we know it, is it fair or is it unfair?
I would like to start first. It is delusional to think that life is fair. Bad things happen to good people, like Job in the Bible and the inhabitants of Sodom and Gomorrah and Jericho.
And I want to say something before Professor Muffnut convinces your audience to buy into his unfair philosophy. I'll stick with Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Life is full of choices every day. The friends we choose to hang out with, the job choices, our business connections, our social connections, the spouses we pick, and the food, good or bad for us, that we eat. We have more control over our lives than we believe.
Would you give us an example?
Sure. So the most important are the people we choose to surround ourselves with. Do they help us or do they work against us? We should ask, does this friend make us feel better or do they make us feel worse? If the friend makes us feel worse, then we should disconnect. For example, someone who starts off with, I want to give you some constructive criticism, but then goes on to say, you can't make it or your decisions are no good, then that person is blunting your forward divine ambitions.
I see what you mean. It's people that affect people. What do you say, Professor Muffnut?
Well, Ms. Sunshine, no. Life is random chaos, and a bomb could drop on you tomorrow.
That's terrible. You're taking away the human gift we all have over the animal kingdom, the power of our minds to make good choices. I believe in God, good works, helping your neighbor, mankind, and not being selfish. But back to God. We should all be engaged in bettering the world and helping God's purposes.
That sounds good to me because you are carrying out Romans chapter 8, verse 28.
Miss Sunshine, we are all going to die in the end, so what's the use of being a good person?
That's a sick philosophy. Is that what they teach you at Harvard? Take care of only yourself and the devil with the rest of the world? That is narcissistic philosophy and exactly what starts wars between people and nations.
Okay, now, let's not attack each other here.
I would like to conclude that Miss Sunshine's religious mumbo-jumbo about living a good, godlike life doesn't hold up in rain.
And I'd like to conclude that Professor Muffnut's philosophy of everyone is out for himself and calls God's work on earth mumbo-jumbo and life is unfair doesn't hold up in the sun.
Well, I've been listening to this mumbo-jumbo about life's unfair, and maybe that's not the right question to ask. Maybe things seem unfair at first, but then turn out for the good because God has a plan for us. Before I worked at J&S, I worked in a slaughterhouse. And it paid good money. I could support my children, pay my bills, but I absolutely hated it. All the dead animals laying around and the smell was awful. But now I work here and I like my job. And, sometimes things are worth waiting for. And Mr. Muffrut, you living a life as an atheist, you're gonna have storms and disasters because you're not believing in God.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen both sides of this business of fair and unfair. It is up to our viewers to adopt their own philosophy or opinion about life. You have the choices to make the best choice for your future. And remember Romans chapter 8, verse 28, which says, all things work together for good and for those who love God. This is Pamela Bluewater with J&S Biblical Productions saying good morning.
What are your thoughts on today's story? We'd like to know. So, leave a comment and subscribe to our channel, J&S Authentic Biblical Productions. Whether it's the Word of God through parables, true stories illustrating parables, or true stories in the life of Jesus Christ with commentary, you can see them all by subscribing to the most comprehensive collection of videos of biblical stories for you and your family. Have a blessed day.